Today, I'm going to be reviewing a very beloved piece of kit in the mouse and gaming community. This is the Endgame Gear OP18K V2. This is a mouse that absolutely nobody hates, and it's the best of the best when it comes to performance. It's not the lightest, it's not the smallest, and it still has a cable in 2025. Now, what is it that makes this mouse so special? It's not that it has a super unique shape or even looks the best, but it's raw performance and user input. It's completely perfect for claw grip. It's known for having the lowest click latency at only 0.07 milliseconds, which is totally insane and is literally a cheat code. Now, obviously, we've got to address the elephant in the room. It does still have a cable in 2025. But I mean, when you're constantly getting 8K polling rate without having to recharge your mouse every 4 hours and record-breaking click latency, it's really a mild thing that can be sorted with a mouse bungee. Now, as a person who didn't really use much of the V1, right off the bat it feels super snug in my hand. Although it may be 50 grams, it's barely noticeable. The texture is really nice and reminds me of the finish on my Pulsar. There isn't anything flashy about this mouse, but again, there's nothing wrong with it either. A super quick comparison to my other mice, there's one distinct feature the OP18K has. It's way more narrower, and because of the shape, it makes it so much easier to make micro adjustments with your fingers. While mice like my Skyrox at only 36 grams feels much more airy and filling to my hand, the OP1 is like a pencil that gives you way more control of your movement. Now, what a lot of people love about Endgame Gear and what they did with this mouse in particular was their encouragement and support for modding it. And people have done some crazy things like full shell swaps, thinner mouse cables, changing out the switches as it is modular, and a bunch of other crazy stuff. But that's what makes this so cool. The mouse comes bare bones and it already gives you the best performance. With a bit of creativity and optimization, the possibilities are endless. And I'm not surprised that this is some people's endgame mouse. The V2 is essentially the V1 with all the weak spots fixed. The shape hasn't been changed, it still has 8K polling, and the hot swappable switches remain untouched. But the hardware is now a bit more durable and more precise. The biggest upgrade is the sensor change from the 3395 to the Port 3950, which is nicer and more reliable on surfaces like glass and modern day mousepads. The OP18K V1 was nearly perfect, but it had a common issue that a lot of people ran into, the ghost scrolling or scroll jumping. This is where the wheel would randomly scroll in the wrong direction or completely skip inputs. This was due to the open design, which allowed dust and debris to pile up. Now, from what I've heard, they listened to the community and they swapped it out for a dust-proof encoder. This has a shielded housing which basically blocks debris and dust from forming up. The scroll wheel on the V2 feels much more tactile and has a more premium feeling when scrolling up or down. All in all, it's still pretty early for me to give an in-depth review about this mouse, but I do really like it and I plan to use it really heavily while trying to improve my aim. Another thing I didn't mention is the stock skates feel really good, but I don't plan to keep them on. I plan to throw on some Jade skates just to see how fast they'll be. But so far I really like the mouse and I look forward to updating you guys in the future.